The University of British Columbia, commonly referred to as UBC, is a public research university with campuses and facilities in British Columbia, Canada. Founded in 1908 as the McGill University College of British Columbia, the university became independent and adopted its current name in 1915. It is British Columbia's oldest institution of higher learning and has over 60,000 students at its Vancouver and Okanagan Valley campuses. Most students are enrolled in 5 larger faculties: arts, science, medicine, applied science and the Sauder School of Business. UBC's 4.02 square kilometers Vancouver campus is within the university endowment lands, about 10 kilometers west of downtown Vancouver. The 2.09 square kilometers Okanagan campus, acquired in 2005, is in Kelowna. UBC's admission standards are among Canada's most rigorous, and according to the annual rankings compiled by Maclean's and U.S. News and World Report, the university consistently ranks among the top 3 research universities nationwide. In 2015, U.S. News and World Report and Times Higher Education ranked UBC among the 20 best public universities worldwide. With an annual research budget valued at $564 million, UBC funds 8,442 projects as of 2014. Faculty, alumni, and researchers have received 7 Nobel Prizes, 69 Rhodes Scholarships, 65 Olympic medals, 8 memberships in the American Academy of Arts and Sciences and 208 fellowships to the Royal Society of Canada. The university has also educated 3 Canadian Prime Ministers, most recently Justin Trudeau, the incumbent. One of the largest research libraries in Canada, the UBC library system has over 7 million volumes among its 21 branches. UBC offers several scholarships, notably the Schulich Scholarship for STEM fields, the Donald A. Warung International Student Award for scholars from war-torn countries, and the International Leader of Tomorrow Award for scholars worldwide. Since 1968, UBC is home to TRIUMF, Canada's National Laboratory for Particle and Nuclear Physics, which houses the world's largest cyclotron. Other facilities include the Chan Centre for the Performing Arts, the Beatty Biodiversity Museum, which has more than 2 million items in its collection, and the Museum of Anthropology, which houses more than 535,000 artifacts. History. Foundation and early years. In 1877, only 6 years after British Columbia joined Canada, Superintendent of Education John Jessup submitted a proposal for the formation of a provincial university. The provincial legislature passed an act respecting the University of British Columbia in 1890, but disagreements arose over whether to build the university on Vancouver Island of the mainland. The British Columbia University Act of 1908 formally called a provincial university into being, although its location was not specified. The governance was modelled on the Provincial University of Toronto Act of 1906, which created a bicameral system of university government consisting of a Senate, responsible for academic policy, and a Board of Governors exercising exclusive control over financial policy and having formal authority in all other matters. The president, appointed by the board, was to provide a link between the two bodies and to perform institutional leadership. The act constituted a 21-member Senate with Francis Carter Cotton of Vancouver as Chancellor. Before the University Act, there had been several attempts at creating a degree-granting university with help from the Universities of Toronto and McGill. Columbian College in New Westminster, through its affiliation with Victoria College of the University of Toronto, began to offer university-level credit at the turn of the century, but McGill came to dominate higher education in the early 1900s, building on a successful affiliation between Vancouver and Victoria high schools with McGill University. Henry Marshall Torrey helped establish the McGill University College of British Columbia. From 1906 to 1915, McGill BC operated as a private institution, providing the first few years toward a degree at McGill University or elsewhere. The Henry Marshall Torrey Medal was established in 1941 by Torrey, founding president of the University of Alberta and of the National Research Council of Canada, and a co-founder of Carleton University. In the meantime, appeals were made to the government to revive the earlier legislation for a provincial institution, leading to the University Endowment Act in 1907 and the University Act in 1908. In 1910 the Point Grey site was chosen, and the government appointed Dr. Frank Fairchild Westbrook as president in 1913, and Leonard Klink as Dean of Agriculture in 1914. A declining economy and the outbreak of war in August 1914 compelled the university to postpone plans for building at Point Grey, and instead the former McGill University College site at Fairview became home to the university until 1925. On the first day of lectures was September 30, 1915, the new independent university absorbed McGill University College. The University of British Columbia awarded its first degrees in 1916, and Klink became the second president in 1919, serving until 1940. Move to Point Grey. World War I dominated campus life, and the student body was decimated by enlistments for active service, with 300 UBC students in Company D alone. By the war's end, 697 members of the university had enlisted. 109 students graduated in the 3 wartime congregations, all but one in the Faculty of Arts and Science. By 1920, the university had only 3 faculties: Arts, Applied Science, and Agriculture. It only awarded the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Applied Science, and Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. There were 576 male students and 386 female students in the 1920-21 winter session, but only 64 academic staff, including 6 women. In the early part of the 20th century, professional education expanded beyond the traditional fields of theology, law and medicine. Though UBC did not offer degrees in these fields, it began to offer degrees in new professional areas such as engineering, agriculture, nursing and school teaching. It also introduced graduate training based on the German-inspired American model of specialized coursework and the completion of a research thesis, with students completing MA degrees in natural sciences, social sciences and humanities. In 1922, the 1,200-strong student body embarked on a Build the University campaign. Students marched through the streets of Vancouver to draw attention to the plight, enlist popular support, and embarrass the government. 56,000 signatures were presented at legislature in support of the campaign, which was ultimately successful. On September 22, 1925, lectures began at the new Point Grey campus. Except for the library, science and powerhouse buildings, all the campus buildings were temporary constructions. Students built 2 playing fields, but the university had no dormitories and no social center. Still, the university continued to grow steadily. Soon, however, the effects of the Depression began to be felt. The provincial government, upon which the university depended heavily, cut the annual grant severely. In 1932-33, salaries were cut by up to 23%, posts remained vacant, and a few faculty lost their jobs. Most graduate courses were dropped. In 1935, the university established the Department of Extension. Just as things began to improve, World War II began and Canada declared war on September 10, 1939. Soon afterwards, University President Klink wrote, "For the day of the declaration of war, the university has been prepared to put at the disposal of the government all possible assistance by way of laboratories, equipment and trained personnel, insofar as such action is consistent with the maintenance of reasonably efficient instructional standards. To do less would be unthinkable." Heavy rains and melting snowfall eroded a deep ravine across the north end of the campus. In the Grand Campus washout of 1935, the campus did not have storm drains, and surface runoff went down a ravine to the beach. When the university carved a ditch to drain flooding on University Avenue, the rush of water steepened the ravine and eroded it back as fast as 10 feet per hour. The resulting gully eventually consumed 100,000 cubic yards, 2 bridges, and buildings near Graham House. The university was closed for 4.5 days. Afterwards, the gully was filled with debris from a nearby landslide, and only traces are visible today. Military training on the campus became popular, then mandatory. World War II marked the first provision of money from the federal government to the university for research purposes. This laid a foundation for future research grants from the federal government of Canada. Post-war years. By the end of World War II, Point Grey's facilities could not meet the influx of veterans returning to the studies. The university needed new staff, courses, faculties, and buildings for teaching and accommodation. The student population rose from 2,974 in 1944-45 to 9,374 in 1947-48. Surplus Army and Air Force camps were used for both classrooms and accommodation. The university took over 15 complete camps during the 1945-46 session alone, with the 16th camp on Little Mountain in Vancouver, converted into suites for married students. Most of the camps were dismantled and carried by barge or truck to the university, where the huts were scattered across the campus. Student numbers hit 9,374 in 1948. More than 53% of the students were war veterans in 1947-67. Between 1947 and 1951, the university built 20 new permanent buildings, including the War Memorial Gym, built with money raised primarily by the students, was dedicated on October 26, 1951. The single university policy in the West was changed as existing colleges of the provincial universities gained autonomy as universities. The University of Victoria was established in 1963. On February 10, 1964, Harvey Reginald Macmillan donated $8.2 million for postgraduate education to the university. Recent history. Prime Minister Trudeau announced the Museum of Anthropology at UBC on July 1, 1971. At a construction cost of $2.5 million. The museum building, designed by Arthur Erickson, opened in 1976. UBC's president is Dr. Martha Piper, who took the role of interim president starting September 1, 2015, following the resignation of Dr. Arvind Gupta on August 7, 2015. Gupta had succeeded Dr. Stephen Tupe, who held the post for 8 years beginning July 1, 2006. the Chancellor of the University, who acts as the university's ceremonial head and sits on the Academic Senate and the Board of Governors, is Lindsay Gordon. The UBC Okanagan campus is led by Dr. Deborah Bussid, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Principal. All three founding faculties remain, but the Faculty of Agriculture is now known as the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. In the wake of ongoing turmoil following the 2015 resignation of the university president, faculty voted in 2016 no confidence in the university's governing board. Campuses. Vancouver. The main campus is at Point Grey, a 20-minute drive from downtown Vancouver. It is near several beaches and has views of the North Shore Mountains. The 7.63 square kilometers Pacific Spirit Regional Park serves as a green belt between the campus and the city. Buildings on the Vancouver campus occupy 1,091,997 square meters gross on 1.7 square kilometers of maintained land. The campus street plan is mostly in a grid of malls. Lower Mall and West Mall are in the southwestern part of the peninsula, with Main East and Westbrook Malls northeast of them. The university endowment lands are not within Vancouver's city limits, and therefore UBC is policed by the RCMP rather than the Vancouver Police Department. However, the Vancouver Fire Department provides service for UBC under a contract. In addition to UBC RCMP, UBC campus security that patrol the campus. Postage sent to any building on campus includes Vancouver in the address. UBC Vancouver also has two satellite campuses within the city of Vancouver, a campus at Vancouver General Hospital for the Medical Sciences, and UBC Robson Square in downtown for part-time credit and non-credit programs. UBC is also a partner in the consortium backing Great Northern Way Campus Limited, and is affiliated with a group of adjacent theological colleges, which include the Vancouver School of Theology, Regent College, Carey Theological College and Corpus Christi College. The campus is home to numerous gardens. The UBC Botanical Garden and Centre for Plant Research, the first UBC department, holds a collection of over 8,000 different kinds of plants used for research, conservation and education. The UBC Botanical Garden's original site was at the old Arboretum. All that remains of it today are trees planted in 1916 by John Davidson. The old Arboretum is now home to many buildings, including the First Nations House of Learning, the Nitabe Memorial Garden, built to honor Japanese scholar Inazo Nitabe. The garden has been the subject of more than 15 years' study by a UBC professor, who believes its construction hides a number of impressive features, including references to Japanese philosophy and mythology, shadow bridges visible only at certain times of year, and positioning of a lantern filled with light at the exact date and time of Nitobe's death each year. The garden is behind the university's Asian Center, which was built using steel girders from Japan's exhibit at Osaka Expo. The campus also features the Chan Center for the Performing Arts, a performing arts center containing the Chan Shun Concert Hall, Telus Studio Theatre and the Royal Bank Cinema. It is often the site of convocation ceremonies and the filming location for the 4400 Center on the television show The 4400, as well as the Madacorp entrance set on Kyle XY. It has also been featured as the Cloud9 Ballroom in the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. Okanagan. The Okanagan campus is a complete transformation of the site of what was once the North Kelowna campus of Okanagan University College, next to Kelowna International Airport on the northeast side of Kelowna, British Columbia. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees in arts, science, engineering, nursing, education, Education and Management. The Okanagan campus experienced a $450 million CDN expansion with construction of several residential, teaching and research buildings in 2011. The expansion features the Charles Fipke Center for Innovative Research, the Engineering Management and Education Building, the Arts and Science Building, and the Health Science Center. Plans to double the academic and research space are in place for the next 2 decades. In 2010, UBC Okanagan campus grew from 105 hectares to 208.6 hectares. Like the Point Grey campus, the Okanagan campus attracts Canadian and international students. Libraries, archives and galleries. The UBC Library, which has 5.8 million books and journals, 5.3 million microforms, over 833,000 maps, videos and other multimedia materials, and over 46,700 subscriptions, is Canada's second-largest research library. The library's lent more than 2.5 million printworks in 2008-2009 and hosted over 2.9 million visits to the library has 21 branches and divisions at UBC in other locations, including 3 branches at teaching hospitals, 1 at UBC's Robson Square campus in downtown Vancouver, and 1 at the UBC's Okanagan campus. Plans are also underway to establish a library at the Great Northern Way campus on the Finning lands. The former main library has undergone construction and has been renamed the Irving K. Barber Learning Center. The new library incorporates the center heritage block of the old main library with 2 new expansion wings and features an automated storage and retrieval system, the first of its kind in Canada. UBC has a number of different collections that have been donated and acquired. Major General Victor Odlum CB, CMG, DSO-VD donated his library of 10,000 books, which has been housed in the Rockwood Center Library of the UBC Library since 1963. After Videomatica's 2011 closure, UBC and SFU acquired the $1.70 million collection. UBC received about 28,000 movie DVDs, 4,000 VHS titles and 900 Blu-ray discs, which are housed at UBC Library's Kerner branch on the Vancouver campus. The AHVA Library Gallery presents contemporary, fine art exhibitions and artists' talks and showcases the work of student and faculty artists in studio art, art history and curatorial studies programs of the UBC Department of Art History, Visual Art and Theory. The Morris and Helen Belkin Art Gallery at the UBC houses the university's collection of 3 archives and fine art, 1,000 works, mainly Canadian contemporary pieces 1960 to the present. The gallery houses exhibitions, publications, acquisitions, archival projects, lectures and symposia on art history, criticism, and curating.